Hi, and we're back. This is Chris Heuer again with CXD Now because the time for customer experience design is now. That's really overdramatic. Sorry, but hey, it's an exciting thing. I've been waiting for this era for 16 years, so it's with good reason that I'm excited about it. And my guest here today is Doug Folds, and we just talked a little bit about why we need customer experience design and journey mapping, and one of those main reasons being actually the need for collaboration across silos to enable better display of our competency with consistency. And of course, at the heart of all that is empathy. But really, what I want to talk to you about now, Doug, is getting into a little bit about your product itself. And in fact, before we even, well, actually, no, let's start with the core question I had originally, which is if you could explain what it does today and then maybe a little bit about where you're going.
Sure, and thanks for having me, Chris. So IBM Journey Designer is a visual customer experience design tool. It's meant for marketing teams to collaborate on the layout and the sequencing and the ideation that goes on around creating customer experiences. It is a SaaS offering, so it's basically walk up and use in terms of getting access to it. We have a free trial out right now on our IBM Cloud Marketplace. So if you go there and look for Journey Designer, you will be able to sign up for a free trial. But it essentially works like a visual whiteboard. It allows marketing teams to drag interactions or icons onto a virtual canvas that represent different channels and different steps in the design of customer experiences, and allow them to build out those experiences in a collaborative way. So you can all log on to the same virtual whiteboard. You can manage work associated with that, with the design of those experiences. So if you've got somebody who needs to work on creative or someone who needs to approve something, you can manage that from within the Experience Designer. And we're also going to be introducing connections to some of our what we call execution engines, but the engines and the applications that actually put those messages in market. So our first set of connections are going to be with SilverPop Engage. SilverPop is an IBM company, an acquisition that IBM made, and is a major player in the marketing automation software space. We're going to enable customers to design experiences in Experience Designer and then execute them through one click, go and execute them, launched into SilverPop Engage, and be able to configure and send those experiences out to the contact list that they've set up. So we're very excited about what we've started with. This is a new way to work in terms of IBM marketing software, and we are looking forward to getting lots of feedback from our first set of users who are starting to use the product already and driving those requirements into the product as we build it. And we're going to go from there. But we're really looking for customers to give it a go, provide us with feedback, and as a product manager with IBM, it's my responsibility to look at that feedback, to prioritize it, to talk with our design team, to talk with our sponsor users, and figure out how to prioritize that for delivery. We want to make sure we're doing the right things for our customers as soon as possible in terms of prioritization and getting features that they want into market as quickly as possible.
So one of the things I really like about this story broadly is that you actually are using these principles in your work. So you actually, as I understand it, have started with those prototype or those early users to actually determine what your roadmap was going to look like. Is that correct?
That's correct, yes. So we identified a number of sponsor users, and those are a special kind of user within IBM Design Thinking. They're really invested in the outcome of the product or solution that you are developing or that you are working on the next version of, and they do that right from the start. So too often, software firms, and certainly IBM is guilty of this as anybody else, develop things in a vacuum and then do the big reveal, and then wonder why we sometimes have missed the mark on really meeting our users' needs and their requirements and understanding how they work. And so we have reflected on that, and we bring sponsor users who are representative of different industries, different geos, different size companies to provide us feedback as real users as we're going through the design and the prototyping and the evaluation phase. So way before we actually commit to actually building anything, we've got prototypes and the research and the evaluations done in concert with those real users to provide us with that initial guidance. And then they're providing feedback as we go along. So as we build every couple of weeks, we'll do a playback with them. We'll show them what we've done. It might only be a little bit of work depending on what we're doing, but we'll want to course correct as we go along. And so it's that tight relationship with our sponsor users that really enables us to come to market with offerings that we hope resonate with the customers who are going to use them and delight them at the same time.
Yeah, as you know, I saw the vision of the long-term vision for the product back at Amplify and Engage. I'm sorry, it's Amplify, right? No,
it's Amplify. That's right.
Okay, okay. At Amplify back in May in San Diego, and was really blown away. And that's what got me really excited about what you're doing, because we've been dreaming of this for so long. And Olivia Blanchard wrote a wonderful blog post espousing this vision that you guys have. But this is going to take some time to get there. So I'm wondering, right now we've got the open, which is really about the planning and the design and the bringing people together to start reducing some of that conflict. Can you talk yet about what's up next, or some of the feedback you've been getting, and what we're going to be seeing soon?
Well, certainly, yeah. Tighter integration with the rest of the IBM Marketing Cloud is going to be one of the big priorities. And not only the Marketing Cloud offerings, but also we know we've got a very, very large and loyal and dedicated on-premise IBM Commerce customer base. And those customers are increasingly looking to hybrid solutions where appropriate to help augment their on-premise offerings and their on-premise solutions. Certainly, Journey Designer fits very well into that model. So you may want to keep your data and your customer lists and that other stuff in-house and on-premise for a variety of reasons. But there might be some tools and solutions that you would like to be able to use without having to go through a 6-month or a 12-month implementation process and buying hardware and training teams and stuff to bring that in-house. You want to just be able to walk up and use that solution. And that's where we think we can start plugging in some of these SaaS solutions, such as Journey Designer, into on-premise app solutions and enabling customers to have the best of both worlds. So a hybrid approach, I think a lot of marketing teams are going to find is going to be really appealing to them going forward. They don't have to pick one or the other. They don't have to pick all on-prem or go completely cloud. They can pick the pieces that really matter to them and get them delivered the way that they're most comfortable with. Certainly, Journey Designer hopefully will fit into that.
So I can see this as a really strong front end for the Marketing Cloud broadly, but I also understand that a lot of people have a lot of different types of solutions, and they're the mixture of different things, particularly with the, buy it with your credit card, like services marketing departments have now, right?
Right.
So what are you looking at in regards to some of these third-party services as well, like maybe a SurveyMonkey or somebody else who has an open API or that you might be able to integrate with that is really what people are already using? Are those going to be accessible perhaps as well?
Yes, they will be. There's one thing about IBM. We are committed to open standards. We always have been. We always will be. We're a champion for that. So we are going to focus initially on connecting the Marketing Cloud together with IBM offerings. But certainly we've heard very clearly from our customers and from business partners and from others that that's a great start, but that's not going to be nearly enough. We know that customers today have their own very well-developed ecosystems when it comes to marketing solutions. And it would be naive of us to think that they're going to rip all of that out and replace it with an IBM-only solution. So we are going to be enabling integrations with third parties, enabling integrations with partners. That's been very important as well, too. The one thing about Journey Designer, because it's so collaborative, it is appealing to partners who want to collaborate with their customers on the design of experiences in their shop. And so, things like white labeling and co-branding of parts of the Marketing Cloud are going to be important as well, too, for our business partners. So we're looking at all of this. We know that, we're not coming into an immature space. We know that there's very mature solutions out there, and we have to figure out how to make those solutions better and how to knit them together. And so that's going to be our approach going forward, and we hope our customers like that as well too.
Now, I had a chance to actually talk to Sarah the other day, and actually I'm going to see her tomorrow here in DC, and we're going to catch up some more. And she actually had given me a little glimpse of, and Sarah is part of the marketing team that works with Doug. She actually had showed me the kind of journey map that you've developed for launching your own product. So you're, kind of dog fooding it, or actually champagning is a better. We drink our own champagne, right?
We drink our own champagne. That's right. So Sarah Grabowski and the rest of the IBM marketing team who have supported the launch of my product, Journey Designer, used a beta version of Journey Designer to design the campaign to launch Journey Designer, if that makes any sense whatsoever. So it's definitely recursive, but we've actually found it to be really valuable. The interesting thing too is that like any marketing big company that has a big marketing organization, we have a large number of executives who want to know what's going on. We want to be able to keep them in the loop on what we're planning and what the status is. And we found that those execs that have been asked to go and take a look at the plans for Journey Designer's launch in Journey Designer have found it to be extremely easy to use and extremely easy to figure out what's going on and quite compelling. So we're onto something, I think. Our goal right now is to figure out, as I mentioned earlier, what to build next, how quickly to get it to market, and then wash, rinse, and repeat in terms of building out future capabilities. But so far, we've been able to use it pretty effectively to launch our own product, and we're hoping customers are able to do that with theirs as well too.
Yeah, I've been in and started setting up our journey map for We Are the Solution now, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But what occurred to me as I was looking at the map you used for launching Journey Designer was how easy it would be for me to come in as a new employee or a new team member and figure out what's going on. So I could actually identify new opportunities or really help figure out where my piece of it might fit in. So
That's right.
being able to know what's actually happening in a complex organization and a complex product launch like that is huge. So that alone just makes me really excited, even as an agency, from an agency perspective, to be an agency partner, to be able to go and, okay, here's what they're all doing right now. I don't have to go and get like 20 other people to brief me in meetings. If I can look at the single plan and see that journey map where everyone is. So really exciting. I know the start beginnings. I've been submitting a couple of pieces into your feedback loop for some suggestions here and there, and hopefully a lot of other people will. And I know that's what you're looking for to make it better. So keep those feedback loops coming and keep working on the product. But I want to get wrap up with this segment so we can move into the next one and then ultimately open it up for questions shortly. So I thank everyone for joining us. Doug Foles, our guest this afternoon from IBM. He's a product manager for the IBM Journey Designer, which we've just been discussing for a little bit. And I'm Chris Heuer, and this is CXD Now. Thanks for joining us.